What did I see the other day where somebody was claiming that? If this happened today, people would spontaneously combust. And it's like, that is just such a misrepresentation of the past and the present. People always complained. People complained that my generation, Generation X, is doing, that nobody complained, blah, 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 and all of that. I'll tell you, it was definitely much different, and you were definitely not watched as a kid. You were just sent outside and you did whatever you wanted, and that was it. That part of it is true. But that whole thing that nobody complained is not true whatsoever. People used to call up the networks all the time, and they would want to complain about any stuff being too sexual, stuff being too dirty, influencing the kids. They've always been doing. Those people have always existed. All right? It's just now it's easier to do because you don't have to call up a network. You can just post it on a social media page and anybody in the world can fucking read it. So it just seems like there's a lot more of it, but it's just simply not true that people didn't get offended and people didn't give a fuck and you could fucking do whatever. That's never been the key. You've never been able to do whatever. All the way back to the Salem witch trials. All right? The original Time's Up. The original fucking, like if you look at the Salem witch trial, like once again, it was something that no one could disagree with. We need to get these witches out of our community. Now, who the fuck wants a witch in their community? Nobody. But the way they went about it. Are you a witch? No, I'm not. That meant, if you denied it, it meant you were a witch. And then if you admitted it, then they still drowned you because you said that you were a witch. It was one of those fucking things. It was the catch-22 or whatever the hell that expression is. There's always been that. There's always been people complaining. There's always been people fucking, everything that's going, it's been going on for fucking ever. So don't listen to that. I even said, George Jones, they don't make them like that anymore. They absolutely do. There's somebody out there that's exactly like George Jones with a voice from heaven, with a major alcohol problem. Like, what do you mean they don't make that guy anymore? Half the my favorite fucking rock stars are that guy and they're dead. An incredible voice, a major substance abuse problem. Although George got clean, and he turned it around. And there's people like that now. Look at Aerosmith. Look how many times those guys have been in rehab. Now they're out on their final tour. I got to make sure, I swear to God, if they come through LA and I am on the fucking road, I mean, that band, for the last, since I bought Aerosmith's greatest hits, when they were broken up after Night in the Ruts. And what was the next one? When the Lightning Strikes. Then they had Greatest Hits. That was the first album I ever bought with my paper route money. Remember, it was like $7, something like that, $6.45. I either went to Strawberries Records and Tapes or Good Vibrations. I'm trying to think the other one. I remember it was all red with the white Aerosmith logo, like on half the cover, and then the other half was on the other side. It almost looked like the Diver Down type of cover. And that added to like all the albums that I had that my mother bought me, which was Sing Along with Mitch Miller and the Gang. Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? 5'2", eyes are blue, but oh, what those 5 foots could do. Has anybody seen my gal? That's what the fuck I was listening to. Winchester Cathedral, Lawrence Welk. I kind of stand by those records though now when I listen to them because it takes me back to when I was a kid. Before all the bullshit. Oh, speaking of which, I'm going to be in LA again? Allentown, Pennsylvania coming up. And of course, anytime I get anywhere near Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, somebody, a comedian from Pennsylvania, or one of the fans of the podcast, which I really appreciate, will fucking send me an email, a text, or whatever, and say, hey, I see that you're going to be here. You got to get a cheesesteak from this place. And I just, for the longest time, I haven't had the heart to tell them, like, I'm not getting it. Okay? I've had the cheesesteak. Okay? But the thing is I never had a cheesesteak until I was in my 30s. So I could see it for what it was. Okay? It's mostly bread. Like, if you can tell me what cut of meat that is from a fucking steer, I don't know what. I will give you free tickets to a show. Now, you can't fucking Google it. All right? You have to know. Okay? And then there's either Cheese Whiz, which I don't even understand. I don't even fucking understand Cheese Whiz. Okay? Then you got the cheese on top. And listen, okay? I'm going to tell you this right now. Cheese Whiz or the provolone or whatever, the sandwich is fucking delicious. I will never argue that. As far as I am shit-faced or I fucking just busted my ass for the first half of the day and I need to have a man lunch, you would be hard-pressed to find anything better than a fucking cheesesteak. Okay? I just tip my cap to that in the sun, risking old age spots on top of my Charlie Brown head. All right? But I will tell you this. When you get past the age of 37, you cannot fucking eat that way anymore. Every time I've had a fucking cheesesteak, I've been like, oh my God, that was so fucking good. Right? And then about 8 minutes later, I feel like I ate a fucking Timberland. And literally I fall asleep. Like your body literally shuts down and you have to go to sleep because it's trying to process and sort out whatever the fuck it is that you just put in your body. And it's just like, I don't know where I went the last time. Oh, I got a bad one. And then, I think maybe the last time I was in Philly last year, I went and somebody recommended a place. I went in there, I ate it, and it sucked. The worst thing ever, eating unhealthy food that ends up not even being good, and you just fucking feel obligated because you were raised not to waste food, that you plow your way through it. And it absolutely fucking sucked. And then it just cured me of it. I was just like, all right, I've had a cheesesteak. It is a phenomenal sandwich. All right? But it is for a certain time in your life. Okay? It's for, I would say, 20s into your 30s. And it should be an occasional treat in your 40s. And when you're in your 50s, I'm 55, I can't eat that shit anymore. I just can't fucking do it. You know? If I ever have a Philly cheesesteak again, you know where I'm going to be? On death row. It's like, well, they're going to kill me anyway. I would try to time it too. It's like, all right, I'm going to eat this thing, but you guys have to promise me that you're going to kill me in the next 8 minutes so I don't end my life in an electric chair, also being like, oh, God, why did I eat that? That happens to me when I go back to be even-handed here. In Massachusetts, they have the steak and cheese, which they're all basically like, derivative of each other. I love a fucking steak and cheese because I eat that. Unlike a cheesesteak, steak and cheese is a little bit different. I eat that thing, and it takes me back, taking me back, all the way back to when I was a teenager. So I love that thing, right? But I have the exact same feeling 8 minutes later after I ate it. I always think, why didn't I just split one with my wife? I just can't eat that way. So I'm back fucking working out. Billy Elliptical. I've done the elliptical the last 4 days in a row. And if you think I'm not getting on it today, doing my 40 minutes. On yesterday, I tried to do 40 minutes, and right around 32, my psoas on the left side started getting a little tight. And guess what I did? I stopped. I got off and I stretched and I feel, I listened to my body. I never do that. I fucking, you know? That's what these kids do nowadays. They listen to their bodies. Oh, you know, that didn't happen back in the 80s. Oh, back in the 80s, you fucking like, shut up. I mean, I know I'm guilty of doing that shit too. There is some things that fucking bother me. You know, I'll tell you, back in the 80s, if somebody gave you something, they at least gave you a fucking owner's manual. They weren't like, hey, you know, you figure it out. Like the level of effort that I'm having to try to fucking give iTunes my goddamn money. I just love this stupid thing like, send us an email. What, so a fucking robot can fucking answer the damn thing? I like when you do that. I mean, a million comedians have done a bit on it, but like the creepiness that they try to make that recording when it's like, if you want this, say that. When you're just talking to the fucking thing, the recording, the robot, the algorithm, the JPEG, whatever the fuck it is on the other side of the phone. And you just go, I want a fucking person. And then the fucking robot goes, I'm having, like it's thinking. Don't say, like you're trying to figure out. Don't fucking act like you're as dumb as me so I can relate to you. You have the answers. You have them right at your fucking metal fingertips. All right, let's do the reads here.